recorded live at Gators in Woodbine. It's the SportsXcetera show.
Hey everybody, welcome to SportsXcetera. Chris here. As you can see, Andrew isn't with us this weekend because, well, he had to work his day job. So we brought Tyler onto the show. Hey Tyler, how's it going?
It's a fine excuse on his part. What do you mean he's working? I thought this was work. No, he's working hard and he does a good job on the show here, but I'm still going to give him a tough time because, you know, he's got some big, I got to step into his shoes and I'm not nearly as funny as he is. Funny looking maybe, but not.
Well, you know, you've got your moments. You made me laugh last week.
Did I? What did I say?
You know, the dad jokes.
That's right, the dad jokes. Yeah, if you guys missed last week's episode. But Andrew didn't laugh once.
No.
He should have done the dad jokes.
Yeah, maybe. He probably would have had both of us laughing.
Yeah, next time. So I can never stop myself from laughing. Everything makes me laugh. So.
Well, you got to be happy in life and enjoy life.
That's right.
We do have a great show ahead of you this week. We're going to update you on the Calgary Stampeders. The NHL draft is going on right now, so who's going to be joining the league, who's going to be making millions of dollars, and who's going to disappoint us next year as a Calgary Flame.
I'll give you a hint, it won't be me.
Yeah, no kidding. The other thing is, it's the first weekend of summer, guys. Tyler and I are going to talk about summer, our favorite traditions of summer, and we have a big announcement coming up.
That's right, so stay tuned and check that out.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having as good a week as Tyler and I have. I know the weather hasn't been the greatest this week.
You know, it's finally, the sun has kind of started to poke through here this morning on this Saturday morning. Of course, you guys are watching on Sunday evening when the show actually goes live. And I don't know what the weather forecast is for Sunday. Do you know what's supposed to be going on?
Well, they're saying we could get some thunderstorms, but really? You know, that's Calgary in June.
That's right. That's right. I remember actually, and maybe it's time for us to do another article, but we did an article on the Taz Entertainment blog a while ago about how much snowfall
I remember that.
Can be expected in the month of March, right?
Right, yeah.
At the end of summer or whatever. And it's quite interesting, you know, everybody was getting ready for this early spring summer, and our research showed that it was unlikely, and then sure enough we got the snow. So I guess what that means is if you want to get real news, you got to go check out the Taz Entertainment blog.
Yeah, go check out YYC Party.
YYCparty.com, and that's going to be launching here real quick as well. So we're excited about that. Make sure you guys keep your eyes open for the announcement on that website, which is already kind of launched. We're going to be talking about that later on in the show. But we've got a lot happening in the world of sports. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Well,
we don't have a lot happening in the world of sports right now because we're kind of in between seasons.
Just before we got into sports, though, Tyler, I did want to send a shout out to all those in Cochrane who were affected by Friday's flooding. Hopefully there's not too much damage, and you know, I know what it's like to have your homes and businesses flooded. It sucks, and hopefully it's the only time that happens to you in the next little while. Yeah, diving right into sports.
Stampeders.
Yeah, the Stamps started their season not as well as we'd hope. They came out playing amazing. They got an early lead, led most of the game, and, well, choked it away to Ottawa in the end. How do you lose a football game when you have 4 interceptions? Like, I can't really use the wording how I felt after that game.
Censor us.
I wasn't in a good frame of mind at the end of the game, but it is only one game.
You know, in football, and as you know, I'm not an avid sports follower, but I enjoy the game, right? And I know enough about the rules of the game and stuff like that to know that turnovers are the key to losing. Right, I mean every turnover.
Well, you're handing the other team the ball and giving them an opportunity.
Exactly, right. So 4 turnovers in any direction in any league, is going to be a problem. So.
But as I've always said, as a sports team, at the beginning of the season, you don't want to be at the peak, because when you're on the peak, there's only one way to go, and that's down.
Yeah.
So let's hope that this is just the start of good things for Calgary, and that they're going to develop. They have brought in Westerman as another Canadian defensive lineman to maybe shore up some of that D-line. And they are on a bye this week, so who knows what they're doing to improve the team.
They're working. They're in the locker room without a doubt. They're trying to do what they got to do to make sure that doesn't happen again. They played pretty well in the exhibition, in the preseason.
Yeah.
So, I think that we are still going to see a really good Calgary Stampeders team. Let's just see what happens.
I don't think we're panicking as much as BC is right now after, signing Mike Riley in the offseason and all the signings that they made. They're now 0-2. They lost to Edmonton Friday night, which I was cheering for BC because, well, Edmonton sucks.
And Saskatchewan has an injury now in...
Well, they lost their starting quarterback. Zach Collaros is on the 6-game injury list. But Cody Fajardo came out on Thursday night against Ottawa, and it was a 44-41 game.
Wow. For Saskatchewan?
No, Ottawa ended up winning that.
So Ottawa won that one too. So Ottawa's going to be possibly the team to beat this year. So
well, it's early. You never know.
Early, but yeah, if they keep playing like that, and of course they were the runner-ups who we had to beat last year for the Grey Cup, which is happening in Calgary this year. Don't forget, guys, you can come down to Gators and take in any of the Stampeders games. They got 35-cent wings during every single Stamps game. So come on down and take that in, and of course karaoke on Saturdays. I'll throw that out, and a lot of times games are on Saturdays. So a lot of times we'll come in, catch the end of the Stamps game, and fire up some karaoke. So
it's a great time.
It is.
I try to make it down here when I can.
Think about making that part of your guys' plans. When we come back, guys, we're going to be talking about the NHL draft, and summertime is right around the corner as well. So, well, actually, it's here.
It's officially summer.
It was just a couple days ago.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I'm excited. I've been working on my beach bod. Kind of.
Really?
Not really. But I am going to be going to the beach this year, and I'm going to be talking about some of the other fun summer traditions that we enjoy. So make sure you guys stick around right after this. Hey guys, Tyler here from Taz Entertainment. There's nothing worse than waiting for people that are late. Am I right? I mean, you arrived on time. You're there, you got your notes, you got your materials, you're ready to start. But where's the rest of the people that you're supposed to be hanging out with? Well, you know what? It's not right to keep people waiting, so let's all try to be respectful out there, hey? That's the rant.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the rant as much as both Tyler and I did. I have a funny feeling it was directed at someone. I'm not going to point. That was me.
It's all right, it's all tongue-in-cheek, but you know what? I do think that hopefully you guys enjoy the rant. We try to come up with something to bitch and moan about every single week for you guys, and it's been fun. So make sure you guys are subscribed to SportsXcetera on YouTube so that you can get the rant every single week. And of course, we're trying to claim the name still, so help us. #claim the name, subscribe to SportsXcetera, and once we hit 100 subscribers, we'll be able to do that. So we're so close. Just help us out, guys. Before the break there, before the rant, we were talking Stampeders, but we also want to talk about NHL draft, because that's going on right now, isn't it?
Yeah, the NHL draft is happening this weekend. A lot of guys' dreams are coming true, getting drafted into the NHL, but that's only the first step for these guys is, yeah, a team's picked you. But how many guys have got picked in the past and then you never hear about again because it's that hard to make the NHL? So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Flames did. I know they picked a left wing in the first round, which I think he's probably a couple years away for Calgary.
So in a case like that, you think he would probably go play for the farm team in...
I think he's still got a year or two of junior eligibility, so they'll probably send him back to his junior club, let him develop a little bit more, so that, he's only 18 years old. He's still got to fill in.
So how does that work then? They signed him, but they're not going to actually put him on a team. They're just going to let him go keep playing for who he's playing for, and then maybe we'll transfer you up someday? Or how is that?
Basically, when a player gets drafted, the team has their rights for a set amount of years. So they can let them go back to their junior club, or if they're at the point where they feel they can't develop anymore in the junior system, they'll bring them to the AHL and let them develop there more.
So it's almost like an option to take them, but being picked up doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have $1 million contract.
No.
You are just almost there.
Some guys do it. There's, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack Hughes, who got drafted by New Jersey first overall. He'll probably be playing for the Devils next year. He's that talented.
Wow. And how old is he?
He's 18 years old.
18 years old, wow. An 18-year-old kid getting picked up in the draft. He was a good player. He's ready to play. What do you think a contract like that might look like?
Well, there is a rookie cap for draftees, which is I think around the $1 million range for their first contract, because they had to do something, because in all sports leagues you were seeing unproven guys. Like the NFL was the worst for it. You'd see a quarterback get drafted first overall in the NFL and get like a $40 million contract, and well, the guy's name's Jamarcus Russell, and he's a bust. So the leagues have started putting in steps. So it's like, no. Before you get the big dollars,
you got to prove
your
way up there,
earn yourself, because it was kind of a slap in the face to all these guys who've been in the league.
Yeah, I'm a 10-year veteran, and then some young Sidney Crosby comes along and gets a $20 million contract, and it's like, well, what the hell, right? Sure. This kid's 20 years old, and I'm now reaching the end of my career, and he's starting where I'm ending. Almost seems a little unfair. A little unfair. So, I can get that. That's I know that inflation hasn't worked quite that to my benefit around my house,
I think it's an interesting time in the NHL, because not only with the draft, you've got teams having to make trades. Like Saturday morning here, we record on Saturdays. Nashville traded PK Subban to New Jersey, and I think a lot of that has to do with dollars. They're trying to free up cap space because free agency's coming up, and they got to re-sign some of their free agents, and maybe they want to bring someone new in. Mm-hmm. I know there's talk that Calgary is going to trade Michael Frolik or TJ Brody. We all hope that they trade James Neal, because that contract sucks.
Who do you think Andrew wants Calgary to trade?
I would say Mike Smith, but he's not signed. So they can't really trade him, because he's going to be a free agent.
But that would have been it, hey?
Yeah, probably. He kind of had that theme, although in the playoffs...
He did prove himself in the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see what Calgary's team looks like next year. We will, of course, be keeping our eye on the draft, and if anything exciting happens for Calgary, we'll be sure to make sure that you guys all know about it, because you are watching SportsXcetera. Coming up in just a little bit, summertime is here, like we said, so Chris and I are going to be talking about some of our favorite summer traditions, plus we have a very special summer announcement. Ooh. And you know what? I can't hold off anymore. So, guys, here you go. So there you go, guys. If you want to win $1,000
I know
cash,
I do, but I can't.
Well, unfortunately, you get other perks.
I know.
You're famous.
Well, at least I'm not infamous.
We have like 70 subscribers on this show, Chris. It's unbelievable.
And we appreciate every last one of you.
We sure do. Thanks for tuning in, guys. But if you want a chance to win $1,000, all you got to do is come to any Taz Entertainment karaoke show or Name That Tune show. Right now we have Name That Tune at Red Crown's Pub every single Friday.
Bumping Friday night. People were loving it.
Absolutely. Come on down, and we will give you a stamp card. Once your stamp card gets filled up, it goes into the draw. Really excited to have Designated Drivers on board as a sponsor this year. We've got some prizing coming from them, and more sponsors coming along here as well that we're getting ready to announce. So, but thank you to Designated Drivers. If you guys go out,
Stampede's coming, so there's going to be drinking.
There's going to be drinking going on. So now's a good time to grab their card. As a matter of fact, we'll make sure that their information goes in the description down below, and you guys can reach out to them anytime.
Speaking of summer, though.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite summer traditions, Tyler?
You know what? It's so and summer's my favorite time of the year. It goes by way too fast. I remember when I was a kid, and it felt like summer was a lifetime. And just every year, summer flies faster and faster and faster. I just, as many of you can probably relate. And because of that, I think it's all the more important that we make the time to have those summer traditions. When I was a kid, what I remember the most was my family. We were one of those boating families. We would take the motorboat and we went out to the Shuswap virtually every single year.
Which lake? Shuswap Lake?
Yeah, we went to Salmon Arm. When I was very young, we used to go to Merrill Lake.
Okay.
And then the campground that we used to go there ended up selling, and they privatized and did a bunch of, there's some cabins things there now. So we found a different spot over by just around from Salmon Arm, and beautiful out there. So
it's gorgeous.
For me, you know, the important thing I think is the checking out, but by far and away my favorite summer activity, and I don't do it nearly as much as I did when I was young, but water skiing. I absolutely love water skiing, and I was quite good at it when I was young too. I was a slalom skier, so one ski I could do the step start. So I would walk out, you know, into about knee-deep water and put the one ski up and take some slack on the rope so that the boat would have enough speed so that when the rope was tightened, the boat would be going fast enough and lift me up and step, and off I would go, and you know, cutting back and forth, and yeah, just I love it. It's exhilarating. It's a great workout. It's, you know, for me, there's nothing quite like water skiing, and I'd say that is by far one of my favorite summer traditions.
Well, I as well spent a lot of time on a lake as a kid, and I remember in high school when my dad ended up getting a windsurfer, and we didn't look into it too much, but I've always been a big guy. We got this windsurfer and we didn't realize it was only rated for like 200 pounds. So we were out at Eagle Lake by Strathmore, and I decided I'm gonna get on this thing. Well, the funny thing is it sank about 8 inches under the water, but it stayed floating under the water. So, and there was a heck of a breeze. So here I am holding this windsurfer pole and going across the water, and people are looking, and it just looks like I'm just floating on water holding this.
Because the board was like, what, 2 feet under or 1 foot under the water?
Yeah, it was under the water.
But the sail is
the sail was up, and I'm holding it, and like everyone on the beach is like, what's going on?
There must have been a good wind for it to push you through that much water. Right?
It was a strong wind, but it was so fun. I used to also love tubing. We were kind of crazy. We would have tube wars.
Yes.
And multiple tubes behind the boat, and he who lasted longest won.
Yes,
there was a few injuries that happened, but as well, my older brother and I and a friend of ours, Greg, we were bad. We'd look and see almost anything on shore and be like, could you pull that behind a boat? Don't pull a canoe behind a boat.
Oh, why not?
Because it folds in on itself and you might lose a limb.
You heard it here
That's
first,
not how
guys.
this happened, but
do not try this at home. That would be a fun Xcetera segment. Do not try this at home. Maybe we'll get Andrew to do some things.
But yeah, it was. I love being on a lake. Another thing I love doing on the lake, my dad and I used to do it. Once again, out at Eagle Lake by Strathmore, there's a Ducks Unlimited reserve, and we would take the boat and just go over to by the reserve, throw the anchor, and sit on that $8,000 lawn chair, but just watch nature.
And get bitten by mosquitoes.
Well, there's spray for that. But I love taking in nature. Like, I'm not a hunter myself. The only way I hunt is with a camera, because I appreciate nature and love nature. Wildlife is just, I love it. I'll go out into the mountains and just take photos, and I don't share them to people. I just take them for myself, which I probably should share some of them.
A private photographer.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe we'll start posting some of Chris's private photography collection on the SportsXcetera Instagram account. You can show
Don't worry, they're not dirty.
Show
That's
some of his beautiful nature photography. So obviously another summer tradition that's coming up here real quick, guys, is the Calgary Stampede.
Oh, yeah.
With the summer sweepstakes, we also have a bunch of fun summer parties coming along. So make sure you keep an eye out on the Taz Entertainment blog, yycparty.com. Check Taz Entertainment on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on all the essential places. That way you'll know what's going on around town so that you guys can plan your Stampede festivities. And that pretty much brings us to the end of our show for today.
I hope you enjoyed the show. I know I enjoyed recording it. I hope it's a great week. Let's hope the weather stays good, and Canada Day's right around the corner.
That's right. So get ready to sing that national anthem. Come on down to karaoke and get your, warm up. Practice your singing.
I want to hear someone sing the national anthem at karaoke. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So thanks, guys. Make sure you subscribe and comment on this video so that we can reach more and more people, more and more sports fans, and just more and more fun, cool Calgarians. Thanks,
Have a great
guys.
week, everybody.